Examining God playtime. I'm ready to play today, so I hope that you are too. Don't forget at the end of this video to like and subscribe. We can really use those likes. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so today we're doing algebra again. This is part of our algebra lessons. If you haven't watched the past algebra videos in our playlist, you're not going to understand this. This is going to make absolutely no sense to you. So please go back and watch the algebra video so that this one makes total sense. Okay, if you've watched our other algebra videos, here we go. Today's the big day that we are adding everything we've learned so far together. And we're going to make it make sense. Because right now, it's just kind of been a piece here and a piece there of things that kind of just looked like they didn't go together. What were we doing today? Today's the day. We put it all together. So let's do this. Today we're talking about, again, Chinese food because I love to order Chinese food. So when we go to do an algebra problem, there is a certain order in which you have to do the problem in. If you don't do it in the right order, the problem is not going to make sense. It's not going to work out the way you think it is. So when I was in school, it was taught to me a certain way. And it was kind of confusing, and it was hard for me to remember, and I never really understood it. Today we're going to do it in a way that you will never forget ever in your life. So here we go. Brace yourselves. When I go to the Chinese takeout place, and I place my order, I go inside the building, and I make my order, okay? The first thing that, oh my gosh, the lady behind the counter at our local place is so nice. She has known me for 20 years. She is so kind. I love her to pieces. When I go in there, the first thing this kind lady does is she gets a sack and she sets it on the counter. Okay, the counter's behind her. The food's in front of her. The counter's behind her, and she sets my sack on the counter behind her so that my whole order is going to go into this sack. Okay? When we deal with algebra, the first thing we deal with, do you remember what we were calling these sacks? Remember how we talked about parentheses as being sacks that held things? We had our little parentheses that looked like this. Well, today, our parentheses are going to look like this. It's going to look like this takeout sack right here. The first thing you do in algebra is you look inside the parentheses to see what's inside the parentheses, and you deal with everything inside the parentheses first. So we're going to deal with everything inside this sack first. That's the first thing we do. So inside this sack, the first thing we're going to look at inside this sack, inside our parentheses, is our drinks. Do you remember how we, how we talked about the drinks as being exponents? We had a little coffee cup that sat up above our numbers, and we said that these were the exponents, right? When the nice lady at the Chinese restaurant goes to make my order, the first thing she does, and this is actually true, the first thing she does is she puts the drinks. If we order drinks, she puts the drinks in the sack, because they're always canned there, because it's for takeout. So she always has canned drinks for takeout, and she always puts them in the sack first. The reason why she does this is because they're heavy, and they hold the sack in place on the counter. They have fans all around the food and all around the takeout area, and these cans hold this sack on the counter while she goes to get my food to put it in the sack. So the first thing we're going to look at inside our parentheses when we're looking at algebra is the exponents. We always look at exponents first. First we look inside the parentheses, and we find if there's any exponents in there, we deal with those first. Okay, we deal with our exponents first. Then, after we've dealt with all of the exponents, okay, all the little coffee cups above the numbers. Remember the little coffee cup above the number. After we've dealt with all of those, then we divide up, we multiply and divide up all of our orders and all of our food, and we put all of our orders inside the sack. Okay, so we're going to put that one in. And then my kiddos are very hungry kiddos, so we're going to take all of our all of our orders that we have divided up into containers, and we're going to put them inside the sack. Okay, all these orders that we've divided up are going into the sack. What this means is that after we do the exponents, after we do these, we multiply and divide. That's the next thing we do. Inside our parentheses, first we deal with the exponents, then we do all the multiplication and all the division. You go left to right, and you go straight across, just like you were reading the problem. Everything that starts at the left, you're going to start doing all the multiplication and all the division problems inside those parentheses, okay? So once we've got, let's put one more in here, just put it in here. Once we've multiplied and divided all of the problem that we could, okay, then we look to see if there's any addition or subtraction inside of these parentheses, and we do that next. Now remember when we were doing addition, we said some things were like silverware? Well, the last thing that gets added to this bag is the silverware, and you know, oh, here it is, I did remember it, and the little, you know how they have little cups of pink sauce? We're going to pretend like this is a little cup of pink sauce, because I didn't have the little actual plastic cups. We're going to pretend like this is a little thing of pink sauce. The nice lady at the restaurant will add pink sauce, and she will add silverware into the bag. Okay? So the last thing we do inside these parentheses is addition and subtraction, because sometimes she might put too much in and she needs to take some out real quick so there's not too many going into the bag. She could add fortune cookies, pink sauce, we can add silverware. We can also take silverware out and subtract it if there's too much. So this is the point where addition and subtraction comes in. Okay? So we're going to go over this one more time of what order we did this in, okay? For the first thing we do in an algebra problem is we look at the parentheses, everything inside parentheses, one set of parentheses at a time, okay? Once you look at the parentheses, the first thing you're going to do inside those parentheses is your exponents, okay? After your exponents, you're going to multiply and divide the food up that's inside those parentheses. The last thing you do is addition and subtraction, because that's the last thing the last thing you do. Last thing that goes in the back is your addition and subtraction. Once all that's done, your parentheses are all done. And I can now take this home. Now, a lot of time in algebra, there's parts of the problem that are not in the parentheses. So what order do I do things in when I finish my parentheses? We do it in the same order. When I get home with this sack, after I'm done with the sack, after I'm done with my parentheses, when I get home, first thing I do is I take the drinks out. So the first thing you're going to do with the rest of your problem after you've dealt with parentheses is you're going to take all the exponents, and you're going to deal with all the exponents that are outside. You can't even see that, can you? Let's go this way. You're going to deal with all the exponents that are outside of the parentheses, okay? The next thing you deal with is all of the multiplied food and divided food outside of the area that the parentheses were in, okay? So all this food that is now multiplied and divided, we're going to deal with that, okay? We're going to deal with all the multiplication, all the division. Doesn't matter which order you do the multiplication or division in, as long as you're going from left to right, okay? The last thing in our algebra problem that we do is we unpack the silverware. We unpack everything out of this sack. We unpack the silverware. We deal with the fortune cookies. We deal with the pink sauce. We deal with all of that over here at the very end. And this is the order that you do. Whoops, I'm dropping things. That's the order that you do in order to get the algebra problem to turn out right. If you do the addition first, your problem's not going to turn out right. If you multiply first, not going to turn out right. You have to do parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, and then you can add and subtract anything else that you need. And if you get confused on which order to go in, just think about a Chinese order and what the order is that goes in the sack and how you unpack it when you get home. And you're going to be able to do algebra. Tomorrow, we're going to actually do problems, and we're actually going to use these during the problem so you can see the order and how it works and how it all fits together. Okay? Today I just wanted to demonstrate with fun little stuff here, but tomorrow we will actually do real problems. Okay? I'm so excited and I can't wait to see you then. I hope you all enjoyed and I hope you're having a great day. I hope I didn't make you too hungry, okay? All right, we'll see you later. Bye. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, everybody.